Welcome to the Daily Plunge. We're in the book of Acts, chapter 9, verses 19 through 31. After being healed of his blindness, where something like scales fell off of his eyes, and he remains in Damascus for several days. And I imagine that Saul, is being taught by Ananias and the other disciples about Jesus Christ. It says, Saul immediately began to proclaim Jesus as the Son of God. Not some prophet, priest, but as nothing less, and actually absolutely something more, as the Son of God. And people respond by saying, isn't this the man? Isn't this the same guy that was causing havoc among those who believed in Jesus Christ? Isn't this a guy who was breathing out murderous threats and wanting to take people prisoners back to Jerusalem to have them tortured and punished? And I want you to think about, how does God use your broken and ugly past for his glory? What we see is that Saul leaned into his brokenness, and he's leaned into his redemption. And the more he accepted his brokenness and his redemption, the more powerful he became. He became more and more powerful because he was so soaked into the grace of God. But there is a conspiracy that arises to kill Saul because he's such a powerful preacher. And they're threatened by his preaching that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. And so these Jewish opponents want to kill him, and he's lowered in a basket in the middle of the night, and off he goes. Goes off to the next town, and where he came to Jerusalem. And he tried to join the disciples, but they were afraid of him, not believing that he really had changed. But Barnabas, remember Barnabas? We talked about him about a week or so ago. He is the son of encouragement, we're told. And he comes alongside Saul, and he sees what God is doing in Saul. And so Saul continues to preach. And Saul goes straight at his listeners with the proclamation that Jesus is the Son of God. Now, this isn't just Saul. This is the way Peter was in chapter 2. This is the way Stephen was in chapter 7, preaching that they had put to death the Messiah, the Son of God. And once again, the Hellenistic Jews are offended by him. Now, the Hellenistic Jews they're the cultural Jews. They're sort of like the liberal hipster Jews, because they're not going with the old ways, the old tradition. They're really sort of living in the Greek culture. That's why they're called the Hellenistic Jews. And they want to kill him. And so once again, Saul is on the run, goes off to, they get him out of town to Caesarea, and then they put him on a boat and set him off to Tarsus, where he is originally from. But the church throughout Judea, Galilee, and Samaria enjoyed a time of peace and are strengthened because they are growing in the strength of their faith. Because if we can be broken and redeemed, what can this world do to us? And so they're living in the fear of the Lord, respect and awe of the Lord, and encouraged. And really the word there is the same as paraclete. The Holy Spirit has their back and is growing them in faith. Well, thanks, friends. I would just continue to encourage you to ask, how does God use my ugly past for his glory? Have a blessed day.